Since you're on Therapy, you guys probably know that I'm a major Ghostbusters fan. Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies, and it might be my favorite comedy. I think Ghostbusters 2 is a okay movie, and isn't really a good sequel to Ghostbusters. And I think Ghostbusters Afterlife is really good. A very solid movie and solid sequel to Ghostbusters, and made one of my childhood dreams come true, of a third Ghostbusters movie being made. So needless to say, I was pretty darn excited for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. A fourth Ghostbusters movie, back in New York, a brand new villain, and with a whole lot of ice. New and old Ghostbusters alike. And now having seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, this movie's really good. Just as a film, it's very solid. And as a sequel to Ghostbusters, it's very solid. I don't think I quite enjoyed it as much as Afterlife, but I enjoyed it more than Ghostbusters 2. I think this film with the right balance of paying homage to Ghostbusters 1 and 2, while also being its own unique thing. Cause even though I really liked Afterlife, it was mainly just paying homage to Ghostbusters and Harold Ramis. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that. I understood it was necessary by people back in the Ghostbusters, but I was lingering for something new, which is what Frozen Empire gave me. And while yes, it still does have references and callbacks to the first two Ghostbusters, it very much has its own identity. But I gotta say the references and callbacks are really good. There's not too much, there's like just enough. Casual GB fans will go, oh yeah, I recognize that. And diehard GB fans will go, oh my goodness, that's so cool. Like early on in the film, they show old commercials from like the 80s of Ghostbusters cereal and the Ghostbusters toys. And that was that was really cool. They played off as like, oh yeah, this was a real thing that was marketed and advertised with Ghostbusters. And yeah, I believe that. Like in Ghostbusters 2, when they got the thermal mugs with the free balloons for the kids.
You mean the Ghostbusters hot beverage thermal mug and free balloons for the kids?
I totally believe they would make Ghostbusters toys and cereal. And I love how this film expands the world of Ghostbusters. Like having a full paranormal investigation laboratory with just like background employees, not even main characters. And if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's what the Netflix animated film's gonna be like. Since Netflix is making an animated Ghostbusters movie, it's probably gonna be some of these background, lower-ranking Ghostbusters going on wacky side adventures. But it also dives more into the different ghosts of this universe. Like this one has a big focus on possessed objects. Probably because this film's main villain for a large majority of the film is cased in this little copper ball. And speaking of the villain, oh yeah, this guy's a pretty darn good villain. Not only is his design legitimately scary, he's really built up throughout the film. So around the third final act when we actually get a reveal of him, he starts actually doing some mischievous little things. So it made him feel like a genuine threat. And his whole thing with the ice, stuff like that, is really cool. It's something new and unique for Ghostbusters. It's honestly really refreshing. Garaka is a really good villain. And this film has a really good balance of scary and funny. As Ghostbusters is a comedy first, horror second. And yeah, this movie honestly has some pretty scary things in it. Like, you're not gonna be screaming or anything, but you're probably gonna be going oh yeah, this is suspenseful, this is intense, I like this. It's also really funny. It gave me quite a few really good laughs. Especially people like Paul Rudd and Bill Murray. Speaking of the characters are really engaging and enjoyable. But there are a lot of characters. So not every character gets time to shine that much screen time, but it does do a pretty good job at continuing the story of the OG Ghostbusters, while also further developing the new Ghostbusters. I also really like the new characters, especially the new British Ghostbuster, Lars, played by James Acaster. Give me more of that immediately, because that's amazing. And Phoebe Spengler, this film's main character, has a little side story that ties its way to the main story of the film, about her befriending a ghost, which I really liked. The first time we really got a friendly ghost in Ghostbusters was in Afterlife with Egon, so I like the concept of having a few nice ghosts. Why can't we have some nice ghosts? Why do they have to be mean? But there's also quite a few new and unique ghosts, most which sadly don't get a whole ton to do, so I wouldn't mind seeing them returning in a future Ghostbusters movie. I also really appreciate this film's use of practical effects. While yes, it is mainly CGI, there's a good decent number of practical effects. And of course, I love that. Mainly with Slimer, as I'm pretty sure most of the time he is an actual puppet, which is just really cool. I do kind of wish that Bill Murray's Peter Bateman had more screen time. Out of the main OG 3 Ghostbusters, he's probably the one at the least. One thing I do kind of wish was in the movie was Sigourney Weaver, as it would have been cool to see her suit up and bust some ghosts. But hey, we still got any parts of the Ghostbusters, so that's pretty cool too. I also know that it's just not gonna happen, but Rick Moranis. Yeah, he's retired. He wasn't gonna be in this movie, and I knew that. But I was just kind of hoping, maybe. And I'm glad this movie tried new things. Afterlife was pretty safe for what it did, but Frozen Empire really it tries unique new things. I really appreciate that. But now we're getting to spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click off the video. I don't have a lot to talk about, but I do have a few things I want to mention. Near the beginning of the film, there's a really like quick scene where Ray Stantz is like being almost like a YouTuber kind of. He's saying stuff like and subscribe, and that made me laugh. There's also a spirit in the film called the Possessor, which possesses stuff. And at one point, it very briefly possesses the Ecto 1. It's a very quick, short, brief thing, but seeing the Ecto 1 go full-blown Christine was pretty darn cool. There's also one scene in the film where Phoebe briefly goes full-blown spirit. In movie time, it's for 2 minutes, but earlier in the film, her and Ray had a discussion, what it would feel like and be like to be a ghost. And Ray was all like, I wouldn't be that every day. I just wish I knew how that felt, what that was like. So I wish there was a little scene where Phoebe was like, hey, it kind of feels like this, it's kind of like this. But let me know, Cosplay, what did you guys think about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? If you haven't seen it yet, comment this video once you have, and then let me know. This is my second most anticipated movie this year, and so far, it's my favorite. Bye guys for now, bye let's go on Thagger.